you see that list that Richard Hart made. What would you say is your is what would be your nice to have that may not be on the list, and why do you think this is? Like, is there anything
Hmm.
that wasn't on that list that you would want to see, or is everything on that list exactly what you want to see?
Hmm. I think I think most of them. Again, I replied to Richard. I was like, yeah, I think it's a pretty good list. I don't have a lot to add, but I'm trying to turn this around and have a better answer because if I were to ask
It's not a bad answer.
what, yeah, but I think I can get a little bit more out of it if I frame it like what would I if I were to make a list of things that I think would be good for Pulse Chain and the ecosystem, regardless of this list, try not to hit the points on the list, of course, though too. Like what would it contain? Like what I think is the most bang for buck that's missing from the ecosystem right now.
And it doesn't even have to be. It doesn't even have to be something that's built. It could be an idea. I mean, mine personally is an idea.
I just, I mean, I think there's just so many. Honestly, I think. Okay, so I'll put two categories here.
Yeah, go
One,
ahead.
I don't think the things I don't think are very important for onboarding, but I think are important for people in the ecosystem, such as like examples on that list would be like the validator APR stuff. A lot of people have been saying, hey, I measured it too. It's not super accurate. We need a better, I think we just need a better calculator for it. It's not that
Right.
it's like, I don't think it's like putting out there trying to be inaccurate. It's just we changed some parameters on the network and things are a little different than Ethereum, and the calculator on Launchpad and what everyone is using doesn't seem to be, it doesn't appear to be by different calculations to be the most accurate thing, which it
Right.
would be nice to say because then if you're trying to calculate your APR and you're trying to calculate how much you earn, all this stuff, you can't, if you're not using solid numbers, the calculator isn't accurate, then you can't base other calculations on it and kind of go down that. So that part, be nice to have better calculations for APR for validators and those kind of things. It'd be nice if on PulseX, if it was just more polished, like you click
Yeah.
certain buttons, you got to like do certain tricks to get around things. You got V1, V2. Is that going to be burn and earn? Like, what are we going to call it besides V1, V2? Is there going to be a V3 that's going to be different? Like, there's just a lot of unsettled things that just
Yes.
aren't very polished. What we deal with, the people already in, not the onboard. So just things that it would be nice to see. Okay, this is looking much better. All that stuff. So that's one part, and then so that's the stuff that I don't think is important for onboards, but would be cool to see for the day-to-day people who are in the community using it. For onboards, I think the biggest bang for buck, honestly, if you water pistol to my head, as shout out to our friend Tommy, what would be the coolest thing? Honestly, just Richard streaming again. I hate to
Yeah.
beat this dead horse, but God,
No, I agree.
if people could see him come out and stream and talk about Pulse Chain again, I don't know what would be better for onboarding than new footage of him and new clips of him and him connecting with people again. It's not even a tech thing. I mean, keeping the devs working on all the features that we talked about, single side staking, all that stuff. I know we're gonna make some splashes with single side staking coming out. Maybe the wallet comes out one day, and all that stuff. But just seeing him connect with people again, that I don't know. I'm trying to like separate my own bias and my own wants and stuff from this, but man, how could that be bad for onboarding? Seeing him like connect with everyone again. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
No, I absolutely agree. I think that Jenkins hits it on the head on the nail. I know he gets shit for it, but he was like one of the main factors why Hex went up so much was because of Richard Hart's exterior appearance and his ability to convey the value of Hex to exterior audiences, whether it be through outrage marketing or whether it be through intellectualization, whether it be through very strong debate skills and expertise. I believe wholeheartedly that plays a fundamental. Oh, sorry, thank you, Ted. I think that plays a fundamental role in the growth of Pulse Chain is when the founder is very adamant about being seen. Like I use this perfect example, like Cardano. Charles Hoskinson does like a live stream every other day. Like he's active on Twitter all the time. And I think one of the main reasons why people have so much trust in Cardano is because of Charles Hoskinson's ability to convey his thoughts, his perspectives, his relationship to the community. And I think that that's kind of what's missing with Richard Hart right now is the lack of streaming and the speculation behind it. Oh, is he not streaming because of the SEC? Is he not streaming because he doesn't want to deal with the same shit that happened in early Hex where people were saying to him, oh, it's a failure, look at the price. I mean, because it's very easy to kind of attack him on that. I mean, PulseChain, we were told by some streamers that PulseChain was going to 250x out of the get-go in 6 months, and PulseX was going to 10,000x. Whereas right now, it's very easy to rebuttal that and say, well, PulseChain is basically at day one sack rate, and PulseX is 70% lower than day one sack rate, so people can front run it. That didn't even have to wait for 2 years. So I think there's a perspective to be made here where he wouldn't stream as a result of that.
Well, just there real quick. Everyone listening, can you put together a more bullish narrative than that? What everything that Corey just said, didn't do all the not expectations, didn't all the things that people thought. Richard hasn't streamed in forever. Everyone wants him to do it. Can you put together a more bullish thing if and when he does stream again? Isn't it just going to be epic? Like, isn't like, forget the macros. Like, I've said before, I thought we were going to have a mini bull run at some point after PulseChain launched, regardless of the major things going on in the world. But like, what else would kick it off than Richard getting up there and being like, all right, I'm back, saying that. But I just wanted to get everyone focused right there, because I think it's very important what you said and how we put this together. And I was like, man, that seems so bullish to me.
Yep.